Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, October 19, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are on the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 7:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:55 p.m. Jamaica time, so about 35 minutes ago, we can see that we now have Tropical Depression Nadine inland right there across the northern portions of Guatemala. And we have Hurricane Oscar right there to the north of Hispaniola. And if we take a look back at the infrared rainbow satellite images, we can make out these entities. The clouds associated with Tropical Depression Nadine right here across portions of Central America, the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, getting in on some amount of rainfall from this system. And we can see the clouds associated with Hurricane Oscar right here to the north of Hispaniola. If we take a look at the latest statistics regarding Tropical Depression Nadine, definitely quite the formidable system before it lashed and went inland to portions of Belize today. As of right now, packing maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, moving to the west at 13 miles per hour, where she's expected to die out for sure, considering that she's pushing more over land. And we know these systems need the warm water in order to survive. And if we take a look back at the infrared satellite images, we can definitely make out her spin right there. She was definitely on her way to try to become a hurricane for sure, but the land got in her way. But we still expect that we should be getting in on some more rainfall across portion of Central America tonight. Heavy rainfall at that, especially in the mountainous areas. You can see a huge burst of thunderstorms right here across northern portion of Belize, right here at the Belize and Yucatan Peninsula border. Lots of thunderstorms across portions of Honduras, sections of Guatemala, Mexico, definitely getting in on some amount of rainfall as well. Let's switch gears and talk about Hurricane Oscar. And Oscar was definitely quite the formidable system because it didn't look that impressive this morning to the Hurricane Center. I remember in yesterday's video I highlighted how impressive it looked, considering that it was no more than a code yellow. And then this morning it got bumped up to a code orange, and then in no time a code red. And then in no time a tropical storm, and even before time it became a hurricane because they definitely flew a plane in there and they recorded hurricane force winds. But the thing about this system, it's so small, Hurricane Center couldn't fathom that it would have become a hurricane so quickly. So when they actually got the planes in there to get the accurate information, they actually saw that they were getting some hurricane force wind gusts for sure. As of right now, definitely lashing portions of the Turks and Caicos Islands right there. The deep convection right there, especially across the southern portions of the islands. Look at the blacks, look at the grays, look at the pinks. Definitely some bad weather taking place. Hopefully it's not a case where we wake up tomorrow to some severe damage. Hopefully this small size of this system doesn't do much to those islands at all. As of right now, we can definitely see that it is definitely packing a punch. Lots of thunderstorms associated with it, more so to the north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Hispaniola in general. And this system is expected to push westward and slightly south of west into portions of Cuba, definitely getting a bit too close for comfort into portions of Jamaica. And before we even look at what the Hurricane Center is showing, let us look at the other models look at the models, we see that majority of them are pushing it into portions of eastern Cuba and then pushing northward into the southern Bahamas. But there are still some of them that take it into portions of the western Caribbean right there. The Euro ensembles right here still adamant that some of the members want to take it into the western Caribbean, some passing very close to the northern portion of Jamaica right there. But for the most part, majority of them are turning northward. And regarding the intensity, we see the intensities all over the place. Some of them making it up to category 2 or 3, some of them making it back down to tropical storm status. We can literally throw a dart somewhere on this map, but we're gonna be working with what the Hurricane Center is saying. Definitely pushing towards the west right now at 10 miles per hour, and we see that it is packing maximum sustained winds of 85 miles per hour. So we know that anything that consists of 74 to 95 miles per hour winds, definitely a category 1 hurricane for sure, so it's right there. We see hurricane warnings up in the red, as you can see by the key on the bottom. For the Turks and Caicos Islands, the southern Bahamas, tropical storm warnings in the blue up for a portion of eastern Cuba. Even a tropical storm watch up for right there in the yellow. And we need to understand that as much as the system is far away, we can still get some indirect impacts here in Jamaica from outer bands or from the rainfall. Let us look at the tropical storm force wind speed probabilities, because this map was all over the place today, as in being shared all over the place today. We can definitely see that there is some probability spilling into portions of Jamaica. We see the greens that represent just a low chance of some tropical storm force winds making it into the Jamaica area, but I'm sure that would only count if the system was large. If the system can definitely take advantage of the very warm waters in the southern Bahamas and maybe expand its wind field, then maybe we could get in on some of the tropical storm force winds, especially if we get an outer band with a nice little thunderstorm cell in there. We could experience some tropical storm force winds from that. But for the most part, the highest probability for tropical storm force winds definitely across the Turks and Caicos, the southern Bahamas, into portions of eastern Cuba right there. Regarding the rainfall forecast, we see that it's definitely going to be anywhere from 1 all the way up into the yellows. That represents 4 to 6 inches of rainfall, especially across eastern Cuba, where we have all of these mountains. So it makes sense. Guantanamo Bay definitely going to be getting in on their fair share of rainfall. That Navy radar station definitely going to be blowing up with new visitors shortly, because people love to pay close attention to the Doppler radar when we have a tropical system passing through. This is the radar that I'm referring to right here. This is definitely going to be lighting up. I wouldn't even be surprised if the website that has this radar crash, because the system is definitely going to be coming right over this spot with the heaviest rainfall for sure. And if we continue to take a look at the statistics regarding this hurricane, we can see that it is, let's see if I can find it back. Where is it? Alright, so the statistics regarding this hurricane, we can see that yes, it's expected to push towards the west, maintaining hurricane status. As of right now, pushing towards the west at 10 miles per hour. Hurricane status, we don't see any M's in there that represents major hurricane. We know major hurricanes are anywhere from category 3 to 5. As of right now, all we're seeing is the H's. Then it's expected to curve northward, downgrading back to an S. We know the S represents tropical storm status. And then pushing right back up into the southern Bahamas, and then right back out into the open waters of the Atlantic. Who knows, maybe later on down the road affecting Bermuda. We have to stay informed to see exactly what occurs. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can definitely see that we still have that frontal system stretching all the way into portions of the Bahamas, Cuba, stretching all the way up into northern portion of the North Atlantic. You can see that we have a tropical wave right here. That tropical wave was definitely induced by Oscar in general, but it's right there across the Central Caribbean. We have a trough right here to the east of the Caribbean, another trough to the northeast of that trough, and we see a tropical wave right here to the west of the Cabo Verde Island, with a ridge of high pressure to the north right here that we know is responsible for sending all of these entities from east to west across the main development region. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. The clouds associated with that frontal system spilling into portions of Cuba, the Bahamas, attached to Oscar right here. We can see the clouds, lots of moisture associated with that trough coming into portions of the Windward Islands as we speak. Clouds associated with Tropical Depression Nadine across Central America. And we can see the clouds associated with a tropical wave to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Saturday, October 19, 2024. It was stated that parts of northern and eastern parishes in Jamaica would have received some rainfall last night into Saturday morning, and then we would have had most of our afternoon rainfall across sections of some southern and western parishes. And we know northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. Eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. That's for the morning. But for the afternoon, we're talking about rainfall for southern and western parishes. I know southern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on the bottom side, like Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes like St. Elizabeth, all of the parishes in the county of Cornwall, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And what ended up happening? As early as 10:25 p.m. last night, a post was made here on our Twitter page of Weather Jamaica, and I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page, but they're also made on our Instagram page of Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page of Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page of Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we can definitely see that last night we had some clouds. Look at the infrared satellite images. We had some clouds coming into portions of northern and eastern Jamaica. Most of these clouds are definitely being sheared off, so it was more so overcast skies to block out the stars or the moon if the moon was out last night. But we definitely had some thunderstorms coming onshore across portions of St. Mary and Portland for sure late last night. And then as we got into the afternoon now, we definitely had some rainfall starting to build that diurnal convection across sections of some southern parishes, and this post was made at around 1:05 p.m. That was when things were just getting started. We saw the sparkling yellow dust that we know represents some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, more so across sections of St. Catherine, Clarendon right there for sure, section of Manchester too, some thunderstorms right there to the southeast of St. Thomas as well. And then, before all was said and done, the infrared satellite images were posted at 2:15 p.m., highlighting the same, still getting on some thunderstorms across portions of especially southern Jamaica. We can definitely see that it was more so across southern Jamaica, as well as western Jamaica in the afternoon. The northern and eastern portions of the island were definitely in the clear. So anywhere from Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, section of Hanover even got in on some of the action too. Lots of thunderstorms out to sea right here to the southeast of St. Thomas. And if we take a look at, let's see what this is. All right, the visible satellite imagery of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see that flow. The low level flow more so from the east, that upper level flow more so from the northeast, definitely making way for more of the thunderstorms across sections of some southern parishes. We can see that before the day was done, before the sun was out of here, everything was starting to clear out. But I'd like for you to see the infrared satellite images before it started to clear out. Look at the huge burst of convection right here across portions of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. I wouldn't be surprised if they got in on some amount of freak storm type of weather across those spots. Look at that deep convection. That's just ridiculous. That blow up of convection, the blues, the greens, the yellows, oranges, the reds, the blacks, the grays, the sparkling like that we know represents some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. That was just ridiculous across portions of northwestern St. Elizabeth as well as Westmoreland this afternoon. They definitely got nailed for sure across those parishes, just as predicted. And if we take a look at the live cam from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing the panoramic city view looking down on the national arena, if not the national stadium, this was about 2:13 p.m. We can see that we're barely seeing anything. Can make out some vehicles moving. We definitely got some moderate to heavy rainfall lashing the region for sure today. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these live streams are over on See Jamaica's YouTube channel. They're always up and running 24/7, except for when we have a power outage or two. So if you'd like to see more live streams like this, you can visit them. Subscribe today because they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So just in case your area shows up on their channel, subscribe so that you don't miss out. And even on the crossroads cam, we had the heavy downpour affecting the area as well. 2:18 p.m. vehicles, people in their vehicles going about their business, persons with their umbrellas, windshield wipers definitely on, definitely some moderate to heavy rainfalls, definitely flood triggering rainfall for sure, lashing the corporate area today. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology, this map does indeed paint a picture of how we had that rainfall today, especially across northern and eastern parishes last night into this morning, and then a portion of southern parishes during the afternoon, anywhere from Kingston and St. Andrew westward, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland. These maps aren't usually 100% accurate, especially with the rainfall that we see here, but they do indeed paint quite a picture of where we had that rainfall today. Sometimes it's less rainfall than what we see here, sometimes it's more rainfall that some areas got, but we'll take it. This map is definitely vital. If we take a look at the comments that came in from some of our followers, firstly here on our Twitter page, we had the Shugsta stating we are getting some of those here just outside of Linstead, and he's talking about all of the lightning and the thunder that was being highlighted on the infrared satellite images. We were talking about that. We also have Sean stating we had thunderstorms for about 20 minutes in Spanish Town. Currently it's drizzling. Rodrigo Cowan setting its cats and dogs in Clarendon and Old Harbour and Spanish Town just passed through them. Aurelia stating St. Elizabeth is all fireworks and rain. And even on our Facebook page, we had the comments coming in. Selena Winter Morgan stating raining now in Long Hill, Westmoreland. Maria McDonald, rain in Spanish Town heavily. Sharon Rose Campbell, rain and thunder on the outskirts of Spanish Town. Danica Johnson, rain more than an hour, but me like it. Even on our Instagram page, we had the comments coming in. It's underscore super underscore star underscore des. Raining here in downtown Kingston. Sugar underscore treasure. I just woke up to a thunderstorm tearing down Mandeville. And we also have Anto underscore Nettie underscore 89 setting it's raining here off the Washington Boulevard. And simply underscore that girl setting raining in Westmoreland. So this indeed confirms all the rainfall that was expected across more so southern and western parishes today than anything else. And if we take a look at the latest still image right here, we're gonna be looking at the latest one, and this one just came out at 35 minutes past the hour. So this is as of 7:35 p.m. So this one just came out 14 minutes ago, if I'm not mistaken. We can see that for the most part the island is in the clear. We do see, however, some clouds, more than likely some clouds blowing off of a thunderstorm near Haiti, I'm sure. Pretty sure if I look on the latest infrared, it's something like that that's definitely taking place. Let's see if the latest infrared is showing that thunderstorm. Let's reload it quickly. Alright, so the latest infrared that just came out at, let's see, 30 minutes past the hour. So we should be seeing it. Alright, here we go. Definitely a huge plume of thunderstorm clouds right here of the western coast of Haiti. That is exactly what we're seeing right there on the latest infrared satellite image of Jamaica. And if we actually match this image to what we're seeing on the Cuban Doppler radar images, if it's gonna be showing us the latest images, let's see if it's showing us the latest. Alright, doesn't seem like it's showing us the latest. It's showing us as of what, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 5 p.m. Jamaica time. Boy, Cuban Doppler radar has been glitching out, but boy, we have to be working with it because the Jamaican radar still hasn't been working at all. As a matter of fact, let's see what's happening on Met Services website. Let's see if the Jamaican radar is back. Let's see right here, because boy, we really need our own radar for sure. Alright, radar image right here. Click. Let's see if it works. Let's see. Alright, still no radar image to see here. Boy, we really need our own radar for sure. If we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar Station, the latest image, let's reload these. Let's get the latest image. Alright, so we're going to be looking at the latest image as of, let's see. Well, this is the latest image. This is 14 minutes past the last hour. Is it 14 minutes past the last hour? No, 25 minutes past the last hour. So this is as of 7:25 p.m. And we can definitely make with that rainfall that we just saw on the infrared satellite image. Look at that. Right there on the northwestern tip or the peninsula of Haiti right there. You see the greens, you see the yellows that represent some moderate to heavy rainfall. And it's being sheared off towards the southwest. That's why we saw the high cold cloud tops coming in. And we know what happened. We usually have less rainfall wherever it's sheared off to. Maybe some light to slightly moderate rainfall over those waters to the east of Jamaica. Regarding what's happening on the Cayman radar, we see some leftover rainfall right here to the north of the Cayman Islands, associated with what was affecting portions of Cuba this afternoon. Some rainfall right there to the south and west of the Cayman Islands. Some rainfall right there to the southwest of Jamaica as well. Nothing much taking place across western Jamaica right now. If we take a look at the very latest Flatbridge Cam, not seeing much taking place at all. Definitely dry, don't see the water rushing at all. Maybe the rainfall this afternoon wasn't that bad up into the hills of St. Catherine, wherever this river is coming from. But we can see people in their vehicles going about their business. River not in spate at all. Definitely grateful for that. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can say about 27 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Sunday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look here at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Sunday when calculated. That's about 1 p.m. on Sunday. And we can still see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight yellow colors up into the slight oranges as well. Definitely at least 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures going to be experienced across Jamaica tomorrow. We know the average temperatures for the month of October across Jamaica are about 89 degrees Fahrenheit. And when calculated, 89 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 31.6 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 31 to 32 degrees Celsius at most, given the 1 degree Celsius temperature rise. And we know the tips to beat the heat. Always avoid alcohol and caffeine, as they make you dehydrated even more. Rest. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you are feeling tired. Seek shade when outside. Don't be out there standing or walking in the sun. Always be there closer to a building or under some kind of trees. And I cannot stress how important it is to stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water. Always stay hydrated as much as possible. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Sunday, we can see the Saharan dust is definitely on its way. We can see the browns right here coming into portion of the Eastern Caribbean, the Southern Leeward Islands, and the Windward Islands. Definitely going to be getting on some of the dust. All courtesy of the ridge of high pressure that's right here to the north, sending all of this dust across the Caribbean. well, across the main development region into the Eastern Caribbean for sure. We don't want this to be making its way into portions of the Central and Western Caribbean. We have Jamaica right here. As of right now, majority of North America, the Central and Central Caribbean, South America, Central America, definitely in the clear for now, but for how long? All of this dust is pushing to the west. We don't want the Saharan dust, but it's definitely looking like it is coming. And we know what usually happens. Saharan dust causes hazy skies, triggers respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis. We don't want that at all. Our only hope right now is that the more it goes to the west, the more it dwindles or dissipates. That's what we want for right now. But as of right now, definitely going to be affecting portion of the Windward Islands and the Southern Windward Islands by 2 p.m. on Sunday. And if we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, starting to get in on some higher wave heights across portion of the main development region right there. Definitely associated with the stronger winds pushing the Saharan dust from east to west. You can still see a lot of higher wave heights across the northern portion of North Atlantic and the southwestern Atlantic as well as the Gulf of Mexico. All of which is associated with the strong winds brought about by the frontal system. Right behind that frontal system we have strong northeasterly wind. So all of those high wave heights make sense. But right now the Caribbean still getting on those lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues that we don't represent anywhere. From 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height, as we can see by the key on the bottom right. And that's because the winds across the Caribbean should be averaging anywhere from 10 to 20 knots, as we can see here by those dull greens and brighter shades of greens coming in from the east, while the strong winds from the northeast coming in right there off the coast of the United States explains why the waves are expected to be so high. Definitely can see those brighter greens and those yellows that represent anywhere from 20 all the way up to 30 knots for sure. If we take a look at the close-up of Jamaica regarding tomorrow's wind forecast, we know winds have a lot to do with the rainfall in general. Wind speed and wind direction have a lot to do with the rainfall over an area. And considering that both the Euro and the GFS models are showing more so of a northeasterly flow tomorrow. Look at the wind direction. More so of a northeasterly flow. So I wouldn't be surprised the usual morning or night rainfall for northern Jamaica. And then we see the darker blues right here across southern Jamaica for tomorrow. And that's where we're going to be having the air piling up. That's where we're going to be having those cumulus clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds, when we get that diurnal convection to take place. So look out. I can already see the rainfall forecast maps. Night into morning rainfall for northern and eastern Jamaica. Afternoon rainfall for section of southern and western Jamaica. That's the pattern. That was what was predicted yesterday for today, and this is what's going to be predicted today for tomorrow. And with the upper level winds also coming in from the northeast tomorrow, is definitely going to be favoring more of the thunderstorm clouds being blown off towards the south. So more overcast skies. We already have that northeasterly wind shear already. Look at the high cold cloud tops being blown off towards the south and west. This is exactly what's going to be happening. So when we get those thunderstorms, high cold cloud tops blowing off towards the south and west for sure. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 11 p.m. tonight. And what do we see? What do we see in terms of agreement? We see the blues that represent rainfall across more so northeastern Jamaica, maybe eastern portions of St. Thomas, section of Portland and St. Mary for sure. The Euro trying to incorporate majority of northern Jamaica from St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, eastern St. Thomas. But we're working with the consensus. And where do we see the agreement for rainfall? Especially across St. Mary, Portland and eastern St. Thomas. We'll see if the Euro model is actually correct with more of that rainfall into portion of St. Anne, Trelawney and St. James. By 11 p.m. tonight, I'll definitely be up to see what unfolds around that time. If not earlier, it could definitely affect us earlier than that. And then by around 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 5 a.m. Jamaica time, what do we see? The GFS has more of the rainfall out to sea, but we can't rule out some of this actually making it on land across St. Thomas, Portland or St. Mary. The Euro still having all the blues across portion of northern parishes from St. James, eastward Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, especially across the coastal areas closer to the sea. And then by 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time, starting to see more of those blues across sections of some southern parishes. You are trying to incorporate more so eastern, central, and western Jamaica, but the GFS making more sense with more of the blues that represent rainfall across southern parishes. We see all the northern portions that are more white or whiter than normal. That represents a little to no rainfall, which means that the afternoon rainfall is going to be plaguing southern parishes more so than the others. So definitely anywhere from St. Thomas westward, Kingston, St. Andrew, section of St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, portions of Westmoreland, maybe spilling into southern St. James and southeastern Hanover. We'll see how that goes. That is 2 p.m. We'll see exactly what happens. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted on my other social media platforms. Even by around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 8 p.m. Jamaica time, we still see some blues that represent rainfall in and around the island. On the Euro, the GFS showing something similar. We'll see exactly what happens tomorrow at this time. Either way, both accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that it's going to be raining somewhere across Jamaica within the next 24 hours. This map from the GFS and this map from the Euro are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see all of the greens, the yellows, the oranges. Represents anywhere from 0.2 all the way up to 0.75 of an inch of rainfall, especially right here across portions of western Portland, Kingston, St. Andrew, and the Euro. GFS has more of that rainfall across the waters to the east of Jamaica, as well as across sections of southwestern Jamaica, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, section of Westmoreland. We'll see exactly what unfolds with that. Either way, we'll take it. We're in the month of October. We're in the wettest month of the year. In October, across Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we shall receive up to 170 millimeters of rainfall. In October, in Montego Bay, we shall receive up to 8.5 inches of rainfall. 170 millimeters in Kingston is about the same as 7 inches of rainfall. 8.5 inches of rainfall in Montego Bay is about the same as 212 millimeters of rainfall. I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to know what your specific parish usually receives for the month of October or throughout the entire year for that matter, you can visit this website right here. That's weatherandclimate.com, and you can use this nice little graphic that converts the rainfall that we usually receive on the rain gauge. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have the clouds associated with Hurricane Oscar still lashing portions of the Turks and Caicos, the southern Bahamas. We can see the clouds associated with that cold front or the frontal system definitely stretching into portion of the Bahamas, Cuba, sections of Central America still getting plagued by tropical depression D. The usual thunderstorm activity across portion of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, northwestern Venezuela. And the tropical wave definitely doing a number on the waters to the west of the Cabo Verde Island. If we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let's see if they'll actually load up for me. Will they load? Alright, I think it's getting there. Alright, here we go. So we're going to be looking at what's taking place right now across the northeastern Caribbean. Not seeing much taking place across the US and British Virgin Islands, just some rainfall to the northwest of Puerto Rico, some isolated showers across portion of the Leeward Islands, affecting portion of St. Martin, the waters to the east of St. Kitts and Nevis, section of Antigua and Barbuda getting some isolated showers, so to Guadeloupe, Dominica. Can we make out anything right here across the Turks and Caicos? Nope, no radar coverage unfortunately for Oscar. But if we take a look at the Barbados radar, look at all of this rainfall. The greens, the yellows that represent some light moderate to some slightly heavy rainfall. Definitely affecting portion of Barbados as we speak. Some rainfall passing to the north and south of there, heading into portions of Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Grenada definitely getting nailed as we speak. So to Trinidad and Tobago getting on some of the isolated showers as well. And if we take a look at what the Doppler radar images, We can definitely make out that rainfall that's currently lashing portions of Central America associated with tropical depression Nadine. Definitely lashing portions of the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, Guatemala, section of Honduras getting in some of the mix. You can also see that rainfall coming into portions of Venezuela, Colombia right there, Western Cuba getting on the action. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the GFS and this map from the Euro are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see the dark reds and the purples into the pinks that represents anywhere from 2 all the way up to 4 inches of rainfall that's in store for portions of the Turks and Caicos, the southern Bahamas, eastern Cuba, associated with Oscar, as well as the leftover rainfall from Tropical Depression Nadine still to come for portions of Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula right there. We see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this rainfall forecast. And we can also see rainfall in store where we have those greens into the yellows and oranges for portions of the Eastern Caribbean associated with that trough. So anywhere from Guadeloupe southward, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, sections of Suriname, French Guyana, sections of Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, sections of Guatemala, Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula, Cuba. Not so much rainfall in store for portions of Florida or the northern Bahamas, but definitely the southern Bahamas into portion of Dominican Republic, Haiti, and sections of the Leeward Islands for sure. I know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.